Well, I love this opportunity. I love being able to encourage you, to challenge you in your faith, to challenge you in your recovery journey, to guide, to strengthen, to enliven you with hope. It's a privilege to be here. And just a couple of things just before I jump into the talk about fair expectations. Um, I, I just I just want to talk to some of you who may have feelings of faltering. Now, maybe it's some of the guys that aren't here, the people that aren't here, that are the ones that are faltering, because by evidence that they're not here, that may be part of the struggle that they're facing. But um, you got to understand that no program is perfect. Uh, Regroup is not a perfect program, but it is a good program. And it is a program that gets men to 1,000 days clean. And so, what we find is no program is perfect, but the effort can be. And if your effort is consistent and strong, perfect, then the program becomes perfect because your effort is all that's really needed. So my challenge is that you use what's here, and be careful that you don't know better than regroup. I mean, how well have you done on your own? Likely, admittedly, not too well. And so, be part of the group, be consistent with the group, get yourself, the wise exit strategy with I've done the 12-step program. I'm 365 days clean. I got a game plan. I got the preparation of my accountability partner, my spouse to move on. Use the program, be committed to the program. It may not be a perfect program, but if your effort is perfect, the program works just fine. And as part of that, I just want to remind you that we do have WhatsApp groups if you're able to be on that particular app without it being a problem to you. And the WhatsApp group for the main group, and also the WhatsApp group for the small groups, so you can continue to encourage each other in your individual groups of 4 to 6 people as well. And so if you're not in the WhatsApp group to get ongoing encouragement that you can be to others and others can be to you, just put that in the chat, and we'll make sure, because we need your phone number and your WhatsApp account, which is your phone number really, and then we'll make sure that you get in the groups. Okay. And the guys that are in your group, your small group, you'll have to interact with them about getting into that small group. So yeah, I just want you to know. Remember, the opposite of addiction is connection, and so this is really important for you to be consistent in encouraging others and them encouraging you. So there's the commercial this morning. Yes. This message is brought to you by the makers of Small Group Connection. All right. All right. So let's go into today's talk. What's fair for your spouse to expect of you in recovery? Now, I try to do these talks generic, although over and over again, I will talk about, a wife being the spouse, because most of the people involved in these groups are men. And we do have one group that women are in who are working through their addiction. And so I try to make it generic so that, it's easier for women to hear and benefit by the talks. So it won't be a perfect rendition because I will throw wife in there likely a lot because of the 23 or 4 of us on the call this morning here. But what's fair for your spouse to expect of you in recovery? What's fair to expect? And just so you know, if your spouse, your female spouse, has been in the Purge group where I teach the 2-day seminar, understand that in that seminar, we actually do a presentation like this. What should you expect from your husband in recovery? And so there's a take home that that wife is supposed to give to her husband. What's fair for her to expect of you? And this is the heart of that I teach every time. And so this particular sheet that you've got in the handout is a challenge for you to use the guide sheet to talk through your recovery plan and what your spouse feels they need from you. You should be displaying a level of commitment, a high level of commitment in your recovery. You should have this whatever it takes attitude to get freedom for yourself and also to show great love to them. And so that's what's behind this. And so you're going to actually score yourself on these attitudinal and action steps, and you're going to see how you're doing, and your spouse will also have a chance to share how they see you doing. And enough with the excuses, would you? This is what's fair to expect. So, so your spouse viewing your recovery should be able to expect these things. Number one, sincere effort. Hard work shows you want to rebuild trust with them and get freedom yourself. You need to work to make changes and make sincere, frankly, and consistent effort. It's not sincere if it peters out after 6 weeks. You've heard me say that to deal with the actual behavioral part of the addiction is 18 months to 2 years. To deal with the soul wounds, the inside, where you're struggling to actually get freedom from what maybe took you there in the first place, it's likely going to be more like 2 to 3 years. So there's an implied journey. It doesn't have to take that long, but if you have flaky effort, it's going to take that long. So sincere effort. Number two, raw honesty. With any sexual relapse, don't hide, don't withhold, don't delay, but tell them and your wingman, tell them within 24 hours. Break the silence to break the power. Your pattern has been to hide. Your pattern has been to withhold. Your pattern has been to, minimize, justify. Just start getting honest. And with any kind of relapse, tell them right away and move forward to the restart of your all clears and get after it. Get after it. Raw honesty. Thirdly, for most people, there is a need for some help. And it doesn't mean counseling forever, but to go together with your spouse to understand the nature of your sexual addiction and its effects on the marriage is part of it. But for you to kind of understand what's some of the roots of your addiction, what kind of addiction you have, what's a good starting point for you, hearing some things specifically related to where you're at. And this is just wisdom because you're going to learn some things in regroup, but uh, when we do these talks here, you're sitting there with a bucket to catch water, and I got a fire hose, and I'm kind of spraying like this, and you're getting some drops in, but it's different if you go for counseling. The hose goes right in your bucket and can address your issues right away and the questions that you have. So there is advantage to go for counseling about your addiction and your soul wounds and the nature of addiction recovery and getting together with a plan and charting that out and realizing the effect it's had on your spouse and on the marriage. Very, very important to include some counseling in the journey. Fourthly, uh, there needs to be some software installed. There needs to be a block put up, a barricade put up to easy access. And most of the time, the people that I'm working with, their addiction is always driven on the phone. And so my prayer would be that there would be some version of accountability and filtering software on your devices so that you can't just easily get to it. Now we know with innovation you can always find a way around things or find another device that doesn't have it. And the addictive mind is very insidious. It's very sneaky. It's manipulative. It's deceitful. And so, but at least, as it were, if you're recovering from alcohol, we're taking the beer out of the fridge and getting rid of it. We're taking the hard liquor out of the cupboard. We're getting rid of it. We're not just saying, well, I got to learn, so I'm just going to leave it there. No, no, you're dealing with the temptations. And so software installed, whatever one you want, just one that works for you. This particular computer that I'm on here has covenant eyes on it, because 100% for me, I don't want my grandkids to ever run into opportunity uh, to get onto any kind of porn on this computer, as it might sit home at my home office. So get some software installed and make sure the password is put in there by your wingman, not you. Fifthly, you got to break the whole addiction pattern, avoid the temptations. Uh, if you haven't got one yet, we have this the integrity wristband, which is designed that if you're tempted, you give it a serious snap. It creates a sting. This is not about self-punishment. This is about there's a neurological path that's pretty strong. The draw towards porn, the looking at porn, the masturbation, the orgasm, that is like a super highway in your brain. And once the vehicle gets on that, it's almost like, oh, here we go, we're out of control. So you snap and it breaks for a moment that thought pattern, and then you can say, well, what the heck am I doing? And then after you have shocked yourself, you have about 30 seconds to do something to break the pattern, to stabilize yourself, like call a friend, listen to worship music, go and get with somebody else, whether it's your spouse or with your kids, because you usually act out alone. So move towards people. You see, there is, and if you wanted to get more about this one, go to the talk called Five Alarm Fires. But understand that the desire to face all the sexual draws wisely, and start dealing with what used to be the automatic second looks, the scoping people, the objectifying people. And so do what you need to start breaking that regular habit of looking at women in your world as objects, looking at women in your world as uh, basically toys on the shelf that you can you can take advantage of. So avoid the temptation and be honest about that. Talk it through with your accountability partner, your wingman. Speaking of which, number six, you should get accountable. Your spouse should know and trust your wingman. We don't want Freddie Flaky to be your wingman. You know, uh, we we want to have, Teddy Tough. You know what I mean? You got to have a guy that's willing to call you on your BS, call you on your excuse making, and it needs to be somebody that is willing to walk with you for a period of time. So your spouse should know and trust the wingman, and you need to report in daily your all clears, and weekly meeting with them, alternating in person or online, or all the time in person, but meeting weekly, reporting daily, being accountable about dealing with your addiction until a further notice. Accountable. Number seven, you need to show your recovery plan. Now, there is a document that I've created called Sexual Addiction Recovery Game Plan. And there's three parts to it. One is activities, actions, and attitudes that you want to include in your recovery program. Now, I have about 40, 45 of them listed there. You're not supposed to check off all of them, but you do check off the ones that you're going to do, knowing how you struggle with addiction. And so you'll pick 6 or 7 of those to be your actions and activities. One might be, I'm committed to be part of regroup till further notice. I'm not going to miss. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to be part of the small group. I'm going to check in every week with these guys. Number 2, I'm going to get a wingman. You see what I'm saying? Accountability software on it. These are action steps that you can do, and there's lots of them there. And depending on your struggle, you can pick the actions that are best for you, and your counselor and your spouse can verify that those are good things for you to do. That's the first part. These actions and activities. Secondly, is boundaries. What are the boundaries that you're going to set for yourself? This is not what your spouse sets. Now, your spouse will have boundaries too that has her consequences, because if you were to cheat on her with somebody else, she might say that'll be the end of the marriage, and she may have warned you, and that's a boundary and consequence that she has set for her own safety. But you need to set some boundaries. Like we talk about no PMO for all men in the program, because that's been the roots of this problem. So that would be one, and maybe no late night TV because it's questionable, right? There might be no going to certain restaurants because that restaurant has waitress dressed kind of questionably, and it becomes a temptation for you the whole time. So whatever you need to do, what are the boundaries that you set? And then thirdly and finally, what are the consequences that you set for yourself if you break a boundary? If you have a relapse with a PMO, you set the consequence. This isn't the conditions and commitments that your wife wants you to set for her and that she sets for you. This is the ones that you set for yourself. And again, there's about 45 ideas for you to get started. And I recently had a guy fill it out for me, and it was likely the best and most thorough job of a recovery game plan that a person has put together. And so, yeah, if you read the document, recovery game plan, it's going to help you. And so you actually share an outline of your detailed steps of recovery, and you complete that document, and you work the plan, and you let them in on it. Number 8, program buy-in. It's fair for your spouse to expect that you're in regroup until there's the proper exit strategy. That you would stay in regroup, completing the 12-step program, and become clean for a year. And again, I refer you to the talk on the fair exit strategy to regroup. But that she would see there's no questions. Whether you're in the Wednesday night group, the Thursday night group, or the Monday night group, or whatever, or this group, that your spouse knows that you've bought in, that you're attending regularly, and that you're doing the 12-step program, which runs parallel to this. We've got lots of helps on that, and also the proper exit strategy. Number 9, spiritual growth. You have to continue to let Bible reading and prayer and church attendance really start to mold you, because there's a healing that's bigger than just the recovery. The merging of your life with Christ and really surrendering and living committed to Christ. As someone has said, put God first, life goes best. As you do that, you'll continue to build a strength, a resource, an inner partnership with Christ, who will help you through your recovery. So spiritual growth is a beautiful addition to a great recovery program, that you grow in your faith. Now, growing in your faith is fabulous, but it's not enough to deal with this addiction. So both are needed, a recovery game plan and spiritual growth. Number 10, you need to volunteer an update. Every week, you will initiate, don't wait to be asked, and you will share a weekly recovery report to your spouse and answer any questions they have. And you will know that in the document that you're holding, the other side of the document is that recovery update. And so we'll look at that in a moment. But the idea being that once a week for 15, 20 minutes, you will answer these questions. You finish the statements here. It's frankly, it's dummy proof, so that you will know the intent of this particular uh, volunteering of your recovery journey. It really helps them grow to trust you when you report in and talk about, what you're doing, what you're learning, and that sort of thing. Number 11, intimacy, patience. Be careful on pushing your sex life early in the recovery. Discuss and go at their pace. They feel so violated by your uh, by the discovery of your extracurricular sexual activity. They're really hurt by it. It really vandalizes their self-worth. This is the shooting gun where, you've shot them and put a bullet in their chest or in their shoulder, and you're holding the smoking gun, and you're wondering why she doesn't want to be intimate with you. So you're going to have to be patient in this journey after the discovery, and go with their readiness, and be patient in that journey. And number 12, you need to pursue relationship with your spouse again. Your love and your care should grow towards them. You become more other-centered. Remember, a sexual addiction is incredibly self-centered. It's all about you. It's for your needs. It's betraying them. It's lying to them. It's maintaining this side activity that is unhealthy for the marriage, and it is not marital building. It is the opposite. It's marital destroying. And so when I say pursuing the relationship, this is the friendship. This is the rebuilding of us. Us times is you and your spouse together, just having fun again, going for walks, talking, and you basically, as it were, re-romancing, and dating again. And you actually even have to ask permission, because she may not want to be with you, and she may see um, your initiative as manipulative, your desire to get close again just because you want to be intimate, maybe, and that's a sign of your addiction still controlling the show. But to show more care, interest, support, help, understanding, listening, validating, growing in emotional support, growing in spiritual support, growing in relational connection. These us times show warmth and allow the relationship to rebuild. That's fair. These 12 things are fair for your spouse to expect. These are fair expectations. And you got to realize that, I've worked with hundreds of people who are trying to get this freedom, and helped many with this program to get to the 1,000 days or beyond, or help people who are they're struggling to try to move in that direction of complete integrity sexually. And these 12 things are fair to expect. This is not crazy talk. My wife thinks I need to have the software installed and everything. Yeah, you do. Well, my wife thinks that, I got to keep going to regroup, and I think that I'm doing better now. How long you been coming? Oh, well, I'm 4 months in. So you've come 16 times if you haven't missed. Try someplace around 75 times, at least a year and a half. You see, these are fair expectations. And so, the question is, first of all, will you have courage to have a discussion with your spouse, listening to this talk, and actually discussing how you're doing? And you'll look at these 12 and you'll know how you're doing scoring out of 12. If you're 12 out of 12, you're doing all 12 of these. If you're 10 out of 12, you got a couple that are weaker. And then you ask your spouse, would you read these and score me? And so then you discuss the scores. and how you're doing. And then you'd honestly write out three of the areas listed here of the 12 that you need improvement on. That you'll honestly have a discussion with your spouse in between what they say and what you feel, that you'll write down three of these areas that you know you need to improve. And finally, agree on a time to initiate the weekly recovery. And so yeah, I'm thrilled for you. Um, yeah. So um, yeah. Um, Now the weekly recovery update is on the backside. Um, and and so and apologize for the uh, the flare group because this is all with regard to husbands with their wives. But the same would apply to you with your spouse. But notice here that this is you're going to set 20 minutes or so each week. You'll set a time and you initiate it. Don't wait for your spouse to act because that's part of you showing initiation is I really do care. Um, but yeah, I participated in recovery group. I did Bible reading, and I'm talking about. Notice there's a goal there. The goal of the recovery group is weekly. The goal is one chapter a day and 5 minutes in prayer each day. Um, did you check in 7 days of all clear? So the goal is a daily check-in, accountability meeting. Either online or in person, discuss the wingman questions. And again, that document's available. Wingman questions, and the goal is 30 to 60 minutes each week, maybe alternating one in person and one in FaceTime or equivalent. That you do the 12-step work, that you do 2 to 3 hours of active work on your recovery between regroup. And that's the 12-step program that you're working on. And so then you report about anything else you listen to that would help there. Now, don't get the step work done because it's designed to really lay some tracks out that will really help you in recovery. But any other supplementary recovery work, other readings, podcasts, videos, any resources that you've listened to. You're going to share a new concept that you've learned from your studies that week that has really helped you. Um, and you can honestly say, I did not relapse this week in any way, but was faithful to you in both online and in person. The goal is 100% faithfulness. Number 9, I have not lied to you. And number 10, I've sought to live surrendered to the Lord, and I want to remain fully committed. And most of those have a goal, so you can clearly understand what it looks like to live in a way that honors the Lord and brings greater trust with your spouse. So there's the recovery update that you would fill in. You verbally have a discussion with your spouse about that. What's fair to expect? You're going to look at those 12 and you realize where you're maybe dropping the ball. You're going to realize where you need to do better. You're going to realize where you've got to pick it up. And the crazy thing, many addicts who do not get freedom make excuses why this list is unfair. I look at that and I recognize that I kind of do all of that and I'm not in recovery. I'm not a perfect man, but I'm heading in a good direction. But I don't report in daily, but I do have weekly accountability, and I have been for 34 years with the same man, 42 years overall. And I will never in my life not meet weekly with another man to hold me to the things that I want to see happen in my life. So my prayer is that as you look at this fair expectations for your spouse to observe in your recovery, that you would pick it up where needed and ask God to strengthen you in your commitment and your resolve to get the freedom that would honor Him, free you, and rebuild trust with your spouse. Let's talk about it. All right.